Hello dear viewers, welcome to the Commonwealth Executive MBA and MBA program of School of Business, Bangladesh Open University. Today we are going to discuss one of the major topic named Marketing Environment of the course Principles of Marketing. You know, nowadays the marketer actually have to take decision various, that is strategic point of view, and their decisions actually are affected by various forces. In brief, we can tell these are the forces actually make the marketing environment. Today, we mainly discuss about what is marketing environment and what are the different types of marketing environments are there. At first, we will discuss about the marketing environment. You can see in the screen the marketing environment is actually the consists of the actors and forces outside marketing that affect marketing management's ability to develop and maintain successful relationships with its target customers. In brief, we can tell that the marketing environment means actually some actors and forces which influence the marketing activities. Actually, the marketer, when they take decision, these are the factors within the organization and outside the organization actually influence their activities. Now we try to see the different types of marketing environment. The marketing environment, you can see in the screen, basically it is two types. Number one is the micro environment, and second one is the macro environment. Now we define what is the micro environment. You can see in the screen the micro environments are forces close to the company that affects its ability to serve its customer. Macro environment are larger societal forces that affect the micro environment. So we can tell that the micro environment actually are closely related with the company. Each are in some extent the part of the organization, and the macro environments actually belongs to outside the organization, and it influence directly at first to the micro environment, and then it come to the layer of the company. Now we try to see the discussion of the micro environmental factors. You can see in the screen the micro environmental factors includes number one, the company, number two, suppliers, number three, marketing intermediaries, number four, customers, number five, competitors, and number six, the publics. So now we discuss each of the forces in detail. The first factor is the company. The company, actually there are various departments within the company, and these are the department influence the company's decision making. We can see in the screen the company's internal environment includes Number 1, top management. Second one, finance. Third one, research and development. Fourth one is purchasing. Fifth one is manufacturing. And sixth one is accounting. These are the groups actually influence decision makers when the company take any decision from the strategic point of view of the organization. So the top management actually decide about the product and service what they want to launch to the market. The second one, the finance department actually allocate the budget, the how much money they actually expend to actually launch the product. The research and development department of the organization do the research work for developing the new products, and they sometimes do the research work for actually identifying the new attributes which need to include with the products. The purchasing department purchase the raw materials for the organization to manufacture the product, and the manufacturing department do the main job of producing the product. And last one, you can see the accounting department. The accounting department actually maintain the accounts of the organization. It makes the profit and loss account and do the balance sheets at a particular date to determine the assets of the organization. So these are the various departments which influence the organization to take any decision. So in fact we can tell they are influencing in decision making. The second forces of the marketing environment is the marketing intermediaries. The intermediaries are actually the group. They actually influence the organization to distribute the product from the producer to ultimate consumer. You can see in the screen there are different types of marketing intermediaries who are, number 1, you can see the resellers, the physical distribution firms, marketing service agencies. It includes the wholesaler and retailer and some distributor as well. The third major factor of that is the micro marketing environment is, you can see, the customer. The customer actually are the basic part of the marketer. Customer influence the marketer for producing the product. You know, in the modern marketing, marketer try to satisfy customer needs and wants well to win the competition. That's why marketer need to analyze customer. Now you can see in the screen that is what is the customer is. There are actually various types of customers. Number 1, consumer markets. Number 2, business markets. Number 3, reseller market. Number 4, government markets. And number 5 is international markets. Consumer markets actually comprises by the ultimate consumers who actually use the product for final consumption. And so the second one, you can see the business market. The business market actually are the composition of the business organization who buy the product for ultimate, not for the ultimate consumption, but they reproduce it. That's why they buy the goods and services. They are known as the business market. Third one, you can see the reseller market. Reseller market, actually they don't reproduce anything, they just change the hands. They buy the product and sell it to another customer. Their main job is to resell, nothing change in any product or service. The fourth one is the government market. You know, there are different government agencies in a country. The government agencies actually buy their product for their use. So these are the government agencies are also form the consumer markets. Then the international markets. International market means that is the buyer actually who live abroad. that is they are living outside the country, and they form the international markets. Dear viewers, the fourth major microenvironmental factor is the competitor. You know it very well. Nowadays, the business is very competitive, and according to the modern marketing, the marketer job is to analyze the customer needs and satisfy the needs well than the competitor. That's why marketer need to analyze its competitor. So you can see on the screen, that is who is actually the competitor. The competitors are those groups who serve a target market with similar products and services against which a company must gain strategic advantage. In brief, we can tell that the competitor means in a market-like situation, there might be different companies who can offer the same type of product. These groups actually make the competitors. The last micro-environmental factor is the public. That is, we uttered the term public several times, but we don't know what is public. Now we try to see what is public. Public actually are those groups who have actually the potential interest in the organization's activities. They actually form the publics. There are basically different types of publics who influence the marketer for decision making. The marketer decisions actually are affected by various groups of public. You can see on the screen that the different types of publics are: number 1, financial public; 2, media public; 3, government public; 4, citizen action publics; 5th, local publics; 6th one is general public, and the last one is internal public. The financial public includes who actually deals with the funds of the organizations. The media public includes the journalists who actually carrying the news. That is, the news might be in favor of the organization or the news might be against the organization. So it sometimes influences the organization's decision. The third one, the government publics. The government public includes the different governmental development programs which actually influence the organizations. The citizen action publics, we can see there are various types of citizen action public in our society. That is, who actually try to uphold the interest of the customer, sometimes the interest of the society. We can see in our country one of the major, that is the consumer action public groups, is Consumer Association of Bangladesh, or in brief it's known as the CAB, who are actually try to protect the interest of the customer of our country. Another one is the local publics. The local public includes neighborhood and residents. That is, where the organizations actually situated or where the factory actually established. The neighborhoods includes the group who actually reside beside the organization or beside the factory. So organization need to think about them when they take any decision for any development of the product or any launching of the product. Then the last one is the general publics. Not the last before one is the general public. It is the attitude of general people of a particular country. And the last one is the internal public. It includes the worker within the organization, the employee within the organizations, and the managers, and who are actually doing the volunteer job within the organizations. Dear viewers, now we discuss about the second, the environmental factor is the macro environmental factors. The macro environmental factors is that type of factor which actually influence the company not directly. It influences the micro environmental factor first, and then the micro environmental factor influence the company. The macro environmental factors includes the following factors which we can see on the screen. Number 1 is demographic forces, 2. Economic forces, 3. Natural forces, 4. Technological forces, 5th. Political forces, and 6th one is cultural forces. Now, in detail, we will discuss about each of the macro environmental factor. Dear learners, the first macro environmental factor is the demographic factors. We know it very well. The demographic means actually the study of the population. That is, the population actually comprise or make the total market. You know it very well that marketers actually deals with the customers. So the customers actually are the part of the population. When a marketer want to analyze the market well, definitely they need to understand the population well. And when you want to understand the population well, it actually the discussion of the population known as the demography. The demographic factors include actually the gender, the density, race, occupations, and other statistics of the population. Now you can see on the screen that the demographic factors, how it influence the marketing decision. Number 1, you can see on the screen changing age structure. Second one, change in family. Third one, geographical shifts. And fourth one, better education. And fifth one, increased diversity. You can see on the screen that we can see there are actually huge change in the age structure. Nowadays, we can see the number of older people actually has increased. That is, there is a decline in the birth rate. So marketer need to think about that when they offer product. That is, for which group actually they are offering their products. The changing in family structure, we can see nowadays there is a formation of extended family to nuclear family. Extended families are breaking down and forming nuclear family. So marketer also need to consider this change in family. The third thing marketer need to consider is geographical shift. We can see there is a huge movement of population from rural to urban areas. People are moving rural to urban areas for getting better employment opportunities. That is, when they come to the urban areas, they actually get employment, and there are different new type of needs actually arose in their mind, and they try to satisfy that one. So marketer actually need to consider this type of change. Beside that, better education and increased diversity also marketer need to actually keep in their mind when they analyze the demographical factors. The second major component of macro environmental factors is economic environment. You know, that is, marketer deal with the customers, and customer definitely need some income and spending power to buy a particular product. So economic factors actually deals with, that is, the purchasing capability of a customer and the spending capability of a customer. You can see on screen that the economic development, changes in income, and changing consumer spending patterns are key economic concerns for the marketers. That is, economic development includes the changes in income and changing consumer spending patterns. Dear students, third major macro forces is natural environment. That is, we, the people and the organizations actually mostly depend on the nature. The organization depends on the nature for getting their input for production. After getting the input from the nature, they process the input and make a product. So solely we depend on the nature for getting the raw materials as an inputs. We can see on screen that is the storage of raw material, increased pollution, governmental intervention, and environmentally sustainable strategies affecting natural environment, which in returns affect marketer. The another major macro forces is the technological environment. We know nowadays we are living on techno-based society. Technology actually influences our daily activities. We can see there is a frequent change in product attributes. We can see the changes in the product quality due to development of the technology. You can see the political factor includes the laws, government agencies, and the pressure group that influence and limit various organizations and individuals in a given society. Major macro forces is culture. The culture includes, actually you can see on the screen, the cultural environment also influencing the marketing activities. People's view of themselves, people's view of others, people's view of organizations, people's view of society, people's view of nature, and the people's view of the universe influence the cultural values of a society. Dear students, this is the end of our discussion for today. If you have any problem regarding this topic, you can take help of the book, and you can also take the help of your tutor in your nearest tutorial centers. Thank you for joining with us and wish you all the best.